buddy.
JimmyO. Yes, sir.
It's been way too long, my friend.
We are
Way
here.
too long. Molly, hello. How are
Hi, nice to see you.
First of all, Cliff, I want to jump in and say, what a lovely performance, actually, from both of you. This is a really, really beautiful film. I loved what it had to say. I loved the story here. Cliff, how did you kind of find a way to challenge yourself even more than you usually do by riding a horse and taking all that on? What's this craziness that you were thinking?
You've known me for a while. I like to go to those places. In this case, it was a fear of not representing the jockeys accurately. So you delve as deeply as you can to get to that truth. And you'll do anything that you have to do to get there. And I did. So
Yeah,
I
you
just
did.
didn't want to let them down.
Yeah, you did. And how did the discussions begin with Clint and Greg trying to find this create? They wrote this role for you. How did the discussions begin for you?
They called me one day and just said they had a new idea for a story. And I was like, okay. They gave me a really loose pitch. They wanted to fly in and pitch more to me. And then they gave me a 60-page script. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, we did this before with no money. So I guess we're going to do it again. The collaboration is the kind that I think any artist would dream for. And any chance to revisit that process and even build upon it and evolve it even more so was even a bigger lure. That was probably the first and foremost, the biggest lure ever, because I wasn't looking to jump into a jockey film. I knew I was going to have to drop weight. I knew it was dangerous. I knew we were going to be on a live track. They're not rodeo horses that I was used to on Westworld. So there are all these things. And when you don't have the money, you think about the fears and the challenges that one needs to overcome. And they seemed kind of impossible at the budget that we were at. No horse wrangler, no hair, no makeup, but because we did have a skeleton crew, it gave me a great deal of anonymity. So I was able to hide and reside with the jockeys and be with them and have people get mad at me for not seeing me on the program because they wanted to put money on me because they'd never seen me. They thought I was a new jockey, that kind of thing. So that's just a dream. You don't want to get recognized when you're making a movie representing the people that you're with, So that happened.
And Molly, I've been a fan of yours for so damn long. You're such
Aw,
incredible talent. Honestly,
thank
how did
you.
you get involved, and what does Ruth mean to you? What did she represent to you?
Yeah, these filmmakers approached me. They had the script. They had Clifton attached to it, and I knew that they had kind of written it with him in mind, having worked with him before. So I mean, I've been a fan of his for years, and I wanted to see him do this role. I wanted that to happen. I also just had a feeling that these guys were the real thing. The images they sent me, the way they talked about the story. Clint Bentley, who directed it, his father was a jockey, and it's a world that I've never seen before. I don't know anything about it. I mean, it's not your typical race track movie. We really get to see what's behind what they call the backside of the track. And yeah, so those were sort of there. And then I got to just come and like embed with, because we were shooting on this live track, because they had this intentionally tiny little crew where you're trying not to just, it was so about place. It was so about this community, these people. So I would get up at 4 a.m. I would go hang out with this female trainer that they had met, feed the horses, learn how to, take care of them, hang out, sweep the barn, go watch, just all that stuff just never get to do. So it's the best part of being an actor, is getting to just be allowed to delve into a world that otherwise you would know nothing about.
Now, what is really interesting to me for both of you is that a lot of the actors involved were the real deal. They were jockeys. What was that like working with them, and how was it, instead of working with a bunch of professional actors, you're working with the real thing? What was that experience like? I guess, Cliff, let's start with you on that.
Because I was already embedding with them, once I was accepted, that's a beautiful feeling of itself. So you learn a language, you learn a banter, you kind of like fill in like as a sort of a new band member, so to speak. So you find an ebb and flow, and then you try to get them comfortable to the process, just day-to-day dialogue. So when we actually got to doing the scenes, I was able to help maneuver a little bit in conjunction with Clint's direction as well, and his knowledge of the world. So and because it wasn't a big crew, I don't think it was as jarring for a lot of the jockeys. It was very easy for even the camera to be broken. It was a little mini area, so it was very easy to not have like a giant camera in your face locked up, giant 1Ks and 650s and all this other stuff. So it made it easy, and because we were all friends very early on, everybody, that made it even easier because you're kind of like a family now.
So you're kind of, then you're shooting at a party, right? They're having a party at the lake in the middle of the track, and then then you get to go and kind of be a part of that, as opposed to having them come and have to be a part of your world. That I think is sort of the trick in this one. And that's the trick in terms of tone too, because they're going to be natural. They're not acting. It's an actor that then has to kind of find your place amongst those. It's a much trickier thing, actually, I think, to do than it would seem like. You sort of have to go to them, if that makes sense.
I could see that. I will say that both of your relationship, the chemistry between you two, is unbelievable. How did you guys find that? Did you have rehearsal time at all? Sorry, with you, Molly.
We had, it wasn't so much rehearsal as like we were everyone working on the film was staying in a hotel pretty close to the track. So we would just like get together every evening and talk about what we were going to do the next day, and how we, any concerns we had and what we wanted out of it. So I guess it was rehearsal in a sense. I felt like my job was to create a relationship. It was I wanted to show a relationship between a man and a woman that was had existed for a long time. They kind of came up together, where there might be romance, but it's not the most important thing in their lives. These are ambitious people. All the people that I met, working at the track, it's really hard to have a family. You don't, you're up every day at 4 dealing with these horses, and so they are each other's family. It's like we wanted it to contain all of that stuff. And Clifton and I just, I don't know, we could just do that together. It was easy.
And every night we were going over dialogue and exploring the characters and the emotions and scenes and the what ifs and the possibilities. So there's so much life that happens offset when you're not in front of the camera that we got to explore, that I think helped solidify our relationship in a lot of ways. In addition to the fact that we work in very similar ways that I think complement one another. So with that in mind, and I'm a big fan of hers. I know she's a fan of mine as well. So it's just fun. You got like minds, and you're making a cool movie with some friends. So
you sure did. Congratulations, guys. We got to wrap it up. But
thank you.
Thanks, JimmyO.
Miss you, Cliff. I miss you.
I miss you too. I want to see you soon.
We'll do it. We'll figure something out.
Over holidays for sure.
Cheers, guys.
Bye, family.